a brand new start. This is so exciting that we get to embark on this new year together. So I'm pretty sure you're trying to figure out, well, sis, like, what are you about to talk about today? What's happening? I just wanted to tell y'all about my 2020. Is that all right? It's gonna be all right today because you about to hear about my 2020. First things first, like, nothing has changed. I mean, it has. I told y'all I was gonna get a background. This has got a background. I am still, however, utilizing so I ain't using Snapchat filters, but because I got the way my camera's set up, I can't really see the whole background. So my videos are going to be in portrait mode, and I hate the little black things on the side of me. Hate it. But we're gonna figure it out. As like I said before, as I grow, the brand will grow too. So by then, I should have a camera. I can stop using these filters on these. Baby, the one thing that 2020 gave me was these lovely filters. I ain't got to do my face no more because the filter does it for me. It's a win-win. And people saying they had a bad 2020, baby. I ain't got to put on makeup. All that laughing, you can see my bra. Wardrobe malfunctions. Nevertheless, let's hop right into this review of 2020. I mean, like, if I had to rate it anything, it would be 0 out of 5 stars, Maybe like 3 out of 5, okay? Because there were a lot of glow ups. There were a lot of losses. Like, people lost their jobs. People lost their lives. People also like regained confidence and started to do projects and everything. It was given but it was very much given ghetto as well. So, baby, let's hop into it. First up, January 2020. Dun, dun, dun. So I started my 2020 off right. Like, literally, I spent my time in church. For those of you who have been following my story, you understand that church has been like a pinnacle for my glow up, honestly. Like, just getting back into building a relationship with Jesus, building a relationship with God, and like really grounding myself in that. And surrounding myself around people who also do that. So I started my 2020 with being baptized. I still have the confetti in my jacket to this day, in my little shaggy sweater. It's literally a part of it now. But yeah, so yeah, like, started 2020. I had recently started going to the gym back in 2019. So, I started first day of January 1st in the gym. Met up with my trainer, yada, yada, yada. That was lit. I was working out. I got baptized. I started, I wanted to rededicate myself to the Lord, and my way of doing that was starting off my season of celibacy. So I started off with creating my whole YouTube channel for my Snapchat and celibacy videos. So, when you start making great decisions for yourself, great things start to happen. So I've been out of school since 2014. It's literally, at that point, it had been 6 years since I've been out of school. And I had not received my bachelor's, but because of the work that I do, it's not necessarily needed, but I have a lot of experience in the field. So anyway, whatever. So I got this new job coming into 2020. I am now pursuing my degree, going to go and get back into school. And if you know my story for that, I don't even know, everything is by the grace of God at this point. So I'm moving in the right direction. Starting off, everything was lit, to say the least. In the gym, not having sex, focused on me. I'm creating content, going to school, got a new job. It's lit, right? My year started off great. And then we move on to February, as we know, is infamous for Valentine's Day. It's a lot of love, hearts. People are wearing red. They were all lovey-dovey and kissy, kissy, kissy. And at that point, I wasn't having sex. So yeah, I'm like, what are we doing here? But we also know that for our single ladies, guys, also around that time, it was just a single woman's holiday where you get together with your girlfriends, and you don't even have to be single. You could be taken, you could be married, but it's a time to show your girlfriend some appreciation as well. So my group and I, we did a lot of stuff for Valentine's Day weekend. It was really great. We did it on Valentine's Day weekend. We hung out with one another, we went to a poetry slam, went to a movie. All of this great stuff is going on, right? And in the midst of that, I had been having some issues with my landlord and the property management. Y'all, I lived in my first apartment. Cute little studio apartment, like really close to my job. It was super ideal. Still kind of like considered downtown-ish. It was really, really cute. Had a roach infestation. Crazy neighbors. And nobody cared. So I'm making complaints. I'm saying everything, whatever. I'm doing my due diligence and like reaching out to people to let them know I'm having these issues. And ain't nobody doing nothing. So guess what your girl did? She stopped paying rent. So you know what happens. Well, number one, it was my first apartment. So no, I didn't know. And people were telling me like, oh, well, you could put your money in escrow. But as we know, or because some of you don't live here. So in Baltimore City, and in a lot of major cities, a lot of the justice for tenants or customers or consumers, period, it's not there. Like, so anybody, I could complain about mold and the landlord can come in and paint over it. So when the inspection comes and they see it's no longer a problem, they're now approved, and now my money goes to them and they didn't really fix the problem. And I wasn't having that. So I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. But I wound up doing it when they sent me that court hearing for eviction. Sis was like, all right, I'll put my money in escrow because I ain't got nowhere to go. And don't get me wrong, like, home life isn't bad, but it's definitely my last resort, because once you get a taste of freedom, it's like, I don't want to go back home. Then I got to be under somebody else's roof, be under somebody, and it's just so uncomfortable when you're so used to being comfortable, especially when you live alone and you comfortable with yourself. Whew, baby, that's a different type of peace, okay? So yeah, it was just like, nah, I'm not going back home. And that's just what it was. I had to deal with those court hearings, and they wound up redoing my trial date because an inspection that I didn't wind up calling until the day before my court date. It was a mess, y'all. It was a mess. But by the grace of God, if it wasn't for the Lord on my side. Don't make me shout in here, because I will. Y'all know I ain't got no hand-eye coordination. So I'm going through all this stuff, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what's my next move, and I'm trusting God. And then, boom, March comes. It was a lot. March was a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. So March, I'm in classes. I'm still going to work. I'm still working out. But I have this pending eviction. And the stress of it all was just enough to send me. Okay. And if that wasn't enough, here come the pandemic. So not only am I like searching for a place in the midst of a pandemic, but it's like, but good news, I wound up finding a place. I currently reside here now. Beautiful loft downtown. But because it is a brand new property, let me tell y'all how it's set up, right? So it was just like, found this place on Facebook. Has my little spiral staircase, all of these like really high ceilings. Aesthetic is on point, okay? And y'all know I love a good aesthetic. Anyway, found this place. They were really affordable. It was downtown, and I said, you know what? This is the place to go to. It was literally the first place that I went to go see when I was searching for apartments. And because it was brand new, nobody had occupied the space. Nobody. So I didn't have to worry about none of the stuff that I worried about before, which was a plus for me. It was like, yes, let's do this. But I still went searching for other places, whatever. But I wound up getting approved. It was lit. So even with this reassurance, I still had this hanging eviction over my head. But with the pandemic, like, all of that slowed down. Literally the day that I went to court for my hearing again, I got a different judge this time, and he was just a major dick. Sorry for my family that's watching this, but he was. And he was just like, well, you getting evicted tomorrow, so your escrow case. And I'm like, okay. Y'all, I was so defeated. I went back to the office. Mind you, I'm still at work. So I went back to the office, and I'm crying in my car. But I play so much. I'm so upbeat. And one of my coworkers came to the car. She joking, and I look up with tears running down my face, and she's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I did not mean I'll come back. But anyway, so yeah, I am like, shoot, I gotta move out of this place. I ain't got nowhere to go. I want to call my mom, like, hey, I need a place to stay, like, and I'll probably be coming tomorrow, whatever. So she said okay, and it was so crazy. They said that they were ready for us to move in by the end of the week to this place. And my eviction was the next day. But then as I am leaving the office, Mayor Young had put a halt on evictions. When I tell y'all God works, he works, okay? I was just like, yes, I ain't got the stress about getting my stuff out. I can wait until it's time for me to move and actually move properly. Yo, it was just a lot. I had such a sigh of relief. It was great. But then, as I stated before, this is a brand new building, so they were not passing inspection. It took them a few weeks to pass inspection. We were supposed to move in, I want to say like March 17th, March 19th, and I didn't move in here until about April 3rd. It took them that long. So they wound up moving me in a spot. I really just wanted to get out of these people's property because they kept calling and harassing me, like, when you leaving? I had to humble myself because I really wanted to cuss the lady out. But yeah, they wound up putting me in a space in Fed Hill, which was super cute. I don't know if y'all was following me then, but with that brown furniture, it was so cute in there. But anyway, yeah, so I moved here in April. Which brings me to the next month. How you doing, April? Boom. April. Moving to my new place. It's lit. I didn't have to pay first month's rent. Well, the way that it panned out, first month and second month rent anyway, but they didn't require April's for a while. So, they didn't require April's until May for all of the stuff that we had to go through and waiting to get the place. So I had some money to get some furniture. It was lit. It was real lit. But then I needed help putting it together. You guessed right. Judge your mother. So, funny story. I met this guy while I was at work one day, and he's pretty cool. Still cool to this day. And we just, started connecting over my videos, and I was kind of like talking about one of my slip ups, I guess. We were trying to figure out like whether or not it was a slip up. It was. But yeah, we started talking more often. He lived up the street, and the inevitable kind of just happened. Not to the point where I slipped and fell on the dick, but kind of. And it was so crazy. I was so infatuated so fast. I don't know if it was like quarantine bae or what, but God got me together real fast. I have never heard the voice of God ever so clear in my life. That man said, "That is not your husband, sis." And that's how he said it to me. I don't know how God talks to y'all, but he talks to me the real way, okay? Like, in a way I can understand. Like, should have had a V8 type. But that's just our relationship. So because like I was feeling a lot of conviction, I kind of had to like distance myself from that and just get back to what I knew best. And yeah, started moving on in to May. So May, the roughest month. Probably not, but it definitely catapulted the rest of the year. Like May, it was like I was doing a lot of reconnecting with friends, a lot of friendships that I thought had fell off, kind of regain momentum. And literally on my best friend's birthday, I am setting up and I get a phone call from my older sister in New York, and she's like, "Daddy committed suicide." And it was such a shocker because I didn't necessarily talk to my dad often. If you know me, I am very out of sight, out of mind, and that's just how I've always been. Communicating all the time, like we can text here and there. I might FaceTime you or whatever, but as far as like reaching out to people and like really staying in contact, I'm not that person. I have a lot of stuff that I deal with on my own, so I don't necessarily like share those innermost feelings and thoughts with people, and I'm not vulnerable with folks, so I don't want any help or anything else. And I guess like the fear of that is like when I'm in constant communication with somebody, then I have to like be open and everything else. I ain't ready for all that. And no, I didn't grow up with my dad, so I didn't have the close-knit relationship that most folks have with their fathers. It wasn't until I became an adult, I didn't technically like start gaining any type of relationship with my dad until 2014. So I'm sorry, was that 2017? Anyway, it was extremely recent. It wasn't until I was an adult. So, and our relationship just consisted of phone calls, text messages, and he would randomly check in on me. My dad is older, just like my mom, so those phone calls are no more than 30 seconds. They're like, "Oh, what you doing? Hey, okay." But one thing that my dad definitely made me feel was loved. I felt all of that. I don't know if, he was just making up for lost time or whatever, but I definitely felt it. And I want you to know, Daddy, that I still feel it. Yeah, but it was hard for me. I remember being 18. It was my senior year in high school. And I had just moved back with my mom, and my dad had called because his wife had died, and his wife said some terrible things to me, and she was like pretty much the reason why I was just like, you know what, peace out, I don't need you for real, whatever. And when he called me, it was just like, oh, well, my wife died, I want you to come to the funeral, whatever. And I remember just being so pissed. And I also remember that night, like, going to bed mad, and I was just like, you know, if this man dies, yes, I don't have a relationship, but I'm gonna feel that, like, a piece of me is missing. And that's what I felt. And once again, like, the whole finding the beauty in your struggle anyway is like, it's a whole healing process, not only for me, but for women that I encounter, women that watch this, men who watch this, just people in general who watch my videos and view my testimony. And it was just like really, really weird trying to unlearn things in 2020. So going to a non-denominational church and just building relationship, whereas though growing up in like certain sins are just like unforgivable, and suicide was one of them. So I remember y'all being pissed off in the service. Like, I'm like, this man is not going to heaven. He's not, because he killed himself. And it was like so many mixed emotions. There were so many people coming up to me talking about how my father helped raise them, and I'm pissed off because I'm like, he ain't helped raise me, so how the hell? You know, like, it was a lot going on. But ultimately, I left the situation peaceful. I got a chance to understand my siblings and get to know them on a different level, and I got to meet more of my extended family that I absolutely love and adore just from that one moment. And it's so sad that, you know, death has to bring people together. It just has an amazing way of bringing people together, I would say. Yeah, I wouldn't trade that moment for anything, or that moment to get to know my family. So that was definitely a plus. Yeah, but the funeral wasn't until June, which brings me to June. What I forgot to mention was the way that my schooling is set up, I am on a accelerated course, so to speak, because, you know, I just want this degree. That's it. So my courses are 8 weeks long, or my semesters are 8 weeks long. So it's an accelerated program. And when I found, literally the day that I found out that my dad died was literally the day that I had not started classes, but I had deadlines due for those classes. And then where I was, I couldn't even submit anything. So I reached out to my success coach. I reached out to my professors to say, hey, this is what's going on. I ain't got it. I'm not there mentally. I can't do it. And everybody was like really sympathetic about whatever, and they're checking in, but sis was failing real bad. So I was failing these classes. And on top of that, I already told y'all the emotional mind state I was in. It was just a lot. I suffered a serious depression. And literally, my friend had put me in this group on Facebook, Baltimore Hikers, and the day that I got back from New York, I was supposed to have left New York at 6. Y'all, I done missed my train. Thinking that the train left at a different time than what I had. And I'm sitting there crying going down the escalator because I'm like, I ain't got no money. I just moved into this new space. It was a lot. I was like, my daddy died, now I'm stuck in New York. Yo, if y'all would have saw me, I can laugh at it now. But the first group hike that I took was literally as soon as I got off the train. So got off the train, had to catch an Uber home so I can change my clothes, and then my friend picked me up, and we met up with the rest of the group. I had missed my therapy session because I was asleep on the train. It was a lot, but it was definitely a therapeutic moment for me. I'm not really an outdoorsy type. I used to hate sleepaway camp. So if you see this, mom and my aunts, know that I hated it, and y'all kept sending me every summer. I hated it. Hate the outdoors. But hiking brought a sense of peace and calmness to me. And I don't know if it was because I experienced that traumatic moment and then I decided to do something calm, or if being in nature just really does something to you. But hiking did your girl some good. It's actually still, where our group grows. A lot of people don't go on the hikes. Like, after the summertime, people just said, they chuck the deuces up. But we still go as that goes. Even to this day, we had our first hike of 2021, which was really, really dope. Super long, but fun, to say the least. So, boom. Now we in July. Yes, even with the hikes, I'm still mixed emotions. We all know that COVID kind of stopped the world, honestly. Not even kind of, it did. It stopped the world. So we weren't able to hug one another. We weren't able to see one another. And yes, while people are still going places and everything else, it still had a crazy hold on your psyche and your mental state. It just didn't. I feel like everybody went through cabin fever. And this guy that I was talking to was just like, I'm going to Atlanta. You should come. And Atlanta, I did go to. Y'all, your good sis was in Atlanta for 19 hours. 19 hours. I was so desperate to get out this house. I was just like, what more and say? I ain't paying the $5. I paid the $5 that day and went right there. I walked around the garden, literally, and no, I didn't spend any time with the person that I went to go see. I caught up with some old friends. It was so calming. It was cool. It was just what I needed, honestly, after, enduring all of that emotion. And even in the midst of that, I was able to clarity on a few things, and I was able to host our first session or series, #Healing Girl Summer. Healing Girl Summer was just a 7-week series that I hosted every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And for 7 weeks. And it was just about everything that I've endured that I haven't really spoken about out loud. And I did it on live. And I saved the videos. And they're still up. It was literally a coming out moment for me. I got a lot of great feedback from it. I had some special guests come on, to talk about their experiences and give some really good tidbits to my following. It was really, really dope. It was a really dope experience. And I rode this high. It was crazy. And one thing that people don't talk about is that when you're in a position of doing something that you love, that euphoric feeling that you get causes you to do bad things. Yes, you heard me right. Bad things. It was so crazy. I was feeling really crazy. It's like how people in power feel. You just made this really big decision. Now I have to go and do something that could potentially harm me. That's why you see people that do stupid stuff. You be like, why they do that? Why they do that? You got all this money or all this position, all this power, and you just out doing dumb stuff. But it really happened. So literally after every video, it was either I had to go have a drink or something, or I had to call somebody to, hit that from the bed. Hey. Okay, no, but seriously, y'all get it. It was it was such a rush that I felt, and it was just yes. So I knew that wasn't, the feeling association just didn't add up. So I had to make a change in August. August came, and that was my time for me to do my own consecration. And for those of you who don't know what a consecration is, it's just a time lapse, a period of discipline where you're disciplining yourself for greater good. And in that notion, my church and I are we are doing that right now. We're in the season of consecration as we speak now. For those who have a desire to be closer to God, you turn away from things that you normally would do to make more time for Him. So we're doing that. And in August, that's what I felt like I needed to do. And I just needed to regain focus, and I needed to shift because I felt myself slipping away. So I did that. I did that for me. And shift I did do, especially in September. So September came, and that was just a time for me to spend time with me. Yeah. I mean, I started to set intentions around certain things. I did spend time with friends. I spent intentional time with friends, I would say. Just exerting certain energies to certain things. Because once you get that refocus, or you gain that refocus, it's like you start to become aware of where you spend time and energy. So, I kind of drew back and focused on me and the things that I wanted to accomplish before the year ended and things like that. So September was well spent. It was me trying to get to know me all over again. And yeah, I spent most of the time at home. Baby, but October. I know so many Libras and Scorpios. It makes no sense. Literally, I partied or went to a function or something every weekend. I don't know how I got money now. I don't. Every weekend I was out somewhere. Somebody's birthday here. Somebody dinner there. Somebody brunch here. Like, sit down, sis. You did all that sitting down for 2 months, just spending time with friends and family, just to go and take shots somewhere. And I got my soul snatched in October. No, but seriously, you ever had your soul snatched from a sexual encounter? It's ridiculous. You just be all over the place afterwards. And once I got that rejection from the experience, it was just like, for me, rejection isn't just a no, right? It's the feelings that are accompanied by that no. So from feeling rejection from the smallest thing, the rejection of my dad will come up, or the rejection of my mom will come up, or rejection from past partners. And like, to notice that it's a thing. But I had to like get out of that funk really, really quickly, because people don't know that they put you in those places. So whenever I'm dealing with somebody, I like to know exactly like what it is, so I know how to move. I am okay to just have sexual relations with people and just keep it pushing. What you want. So everything just started to become like a little confusing after a while. So I was just like, all right, just go with the flow, sis. Sometimes we often, and not just women, but men do it as well. We often try to focus on whether the other person likes you or not, that you can't even decipher if you like them. Like, focus on it. Do I like you enough to be doing all this? And sometimes that's a no. But we still, because the spiritual or sexual connection, emotional connection, or whatever the connection may be, so like, it could be lacking that you're getting out of that connection without it actually being a connection. So you're like connecting the dots when there aren't any dots to connect. That happens sometimes when you can get good sex, like, and that's just being real. So I found myself in that place, and I was just like, let me back up a little bit, because I don't have time to be going crazy over that. I just don't. Not in 2020. Definitely not in 2021. This ain't want to back up too far, because it was November coming up, and I needed me some birthday sex. Long story short, I ain't get it. But I was okay. Not in the sense where I went somewhere else and got it, but I was okay. You know, I've already done the celibacy thing. It's not like I absolutely need it. So I'm fine when it comes to disciplining myself in those ways. But yeah, like I said, it was my birthday month. November was great. I usually go through these depressions right before my birthday comes. And with everything that was going on already, and you know, just the effects of the pandemic and stuff, I kind of like honed in on that this year. And I planned a nice big bash, a whole weekend full of activities just to get myself out of that funk. And it worked. I ain't even tell y'all, I was taking 2 classes during that time, which I passed, by the way, but I'm gonna save that for December's report. But yeah, my gray soiree, it was super cute. I had it professionally decorated, rented this Airbnb out in DC. Went to brunch, had a game night with my friends, catered events, family dinner, incorporated everybody that I absolutely love and the people that could come out. And I didn't invite everybody because it's COVID. And long story short, I wound up catching COVID from the party anyway. Well, I don't even know if it was from the party, but somebody at my party had the COVID, and it was just a lot. You know, and November is also a time. My birthday always falls the week before Thanksgiving, so it's a time for you to spend time with family. You know, just get reacquainted, reconnected, and it was great. I literally will not. This is me saying and declaring it right now. I'm no longer taking edibles, y'all. I don't want to do it. I usually do it with, like, I do it for family functions, and you know, because it's a safe space. With family, I can chill, work out, whatever. But I be so stuck, just like the sign is to that grass. I be so stuck, and it's just not worth it. Like how I did give up alcohol, I'm now weaning myself off of weed. It just don't do it for me no more. It's like to the point where I can't even enjoy myself or enjoy my little high. So yeah, I won't be doing it anymore. Just kind of sad, but not really. We often try to like hold on to parts of ourselves that made us something, you know, like, oh, Tiff used to be lit. She used to do this. She used to do that. And it's like, once you get an opportunity to go back to what that was or what made you, it's like you jump at the chance. Not realizing that you're doing more harm than good. Just to feel that little few seconds of euphoric feeling. You should be ashamed of yourself. But it did not stop me from taking it on New Year's Eve. Judge your mother. December, is that you? Man, so just how people get depressed around their birthday time, I get depressed around the holidays because my love language is giving and receiving gifts. So I'm very thoughtful about the gifts that I give to people. If you've ever received a gift from me, then you know like it was something that came from my heart of hearts. It's either something that you have said that you wanted, that I snuck and got, or, you know, just there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So when I can't provide certain gifts, I feel away because it's like, it's Christmas. Everybody deserves nice things, right? But when you can't provide that lifestyle, when you can't provide those things, like it puts people in a headspace. And I know people are just like, you shouldn't really place value on material things or, you know, value materialistic stuff. But people want nice stuff. And you'd be lying if you say you ain't want nice stuff. So stop. But for me, it's all about the intentionality behind the gift. So, no, it's not always going to be the most expensive thing, but it will be something that you need, something that you love, something that you like. And that's just what it is. But I tend to get into these funks because I am now moving into a space, you know, after so many horrible decisions in life that we don't have time to talk about today. I have moved into this state of responsibility. So I am paying my bills on time. I'm doing stuff to raise my credit and everything else. Like I'm moving into a space financially that I ultimately want to be at. I fall short sometimes, like any other person. But yeah, so some years I don't have it. Like I honestly don't, because I done paid all my bills, and bills don't care that it's Christmas. They don't care. So yeah. But this year I wanted to do something nice. So I supported some friends' businesses, supported some black businesses, made sure the kids had something. I was able to get something for all of my god kids, which was really, really dope. Yeah. It was just, all in all, it was great. I was able to, I was still kind of depressed because then I ain't had no money. Just ridiculousness. But ultimately, like, I felt good. Christmas, my family was beefing, so we didn't really have Christmas, and that was like really different for me. We tried like new traditions, but there was still like an uneasy feeling, and I definitely believe in the transference of energy. I feel it all, so it's like it was really hard for me to be in the middle to like watch it. So like I don't know, I kind of felt homeless. Like I ain't nowhere to go. Wasn't nobody cooking. Everybody wanted to be with their families. I'm like, boo. But I wound up going to my friend's house, and I had to check myself because I definitely had an attitude. Like walking in, it was just like, I was already being cussed out for being late, but I had like all of this mental stuff going on, thinking about how and then I go to somebody's house and ruin their Christmas. So just because you're having a bad day don't mean that you got to ruin anybody else. So shout out to Tabitha Brown. But yeah, so I had to check myself, I was able to laugh, get a few laughs in, drop off the gifts to my extended family, and go ahead about my merry day. But I had a break. I was able to like just sit and not do anything. And that's like, people often think like, oh, you lazy, you're not doing nothing. I sat and I played my games. I caught up on like mindless TV. I'm sitting there watching Girlfriends. I watched the whole series of Girlfriends. Y'all know it's like 20 episodes per season. But I watched the whole series of Girlfriends, like just catching up on stuff. I watched the whole series of The Game. It felt really nostalgic for me. Like just, I used to watch those shows as a kid, and just watching it now, like it felt really, really good. I got to pick out a little bit, as you can see. Filters don't hide everything. But ultimately, there is strength in not doing anything. Like, if you don't have the mental capacity to do it, don't. And be honest about your needs. I don't have it. I can't give it to you because I ain't got it. So, what's next? What you gonna do? Like, take time out for you. And if that means you ain't getting up to do nothing, then that's all that means. I get sick of seeing these memes talking about, well, if you ain't hustled, then what you doing? I'm getting my mental together. And sometimes that means I don't have to do nothing. And you don't have to explain that to anybody. Anybody. But, all in all, then came New Year's Eve, and I had such an amazing time. Once again, that transference of energy, just being surrounded by good energy, love, good vibes. I did have an edible and some shots. But it was great. It was a great time. I was definitely able to make it home to my... It was really, really great. It was really great. I had ultimately a great year. 2020, yes, may not have been the ideal year, but it was definitely the year of the creative. It was definitely the year of innovation. It was definitely the year of coming up with new concepts, traditions. It forced you to level up. regardless of what that meant, whether that was your job being taken away, whether that was your loved ones being taken away. We all had to boss up in a way out of something being removed, whether that be removal of normal routines. Some people had to now work from home, and you had to figure out home life. People who have kids had to learn how to do school on virtual, and that was something new for everybody. But it forced us all to level up in ways that we probably didn't imagine possible. Once again, regardless of what that looked like, we all were able to come through and follow through despite of what we lacked or what we felt that we lacked. So good job 2020. I definitely learned the lessons. I'm grateful for this experience, for me to actually go through and replay my year, because I'm learning lessons all over again. So thank you for that. I hope that, well, if you made it through this hour-long video, it is my hope that you yourself can like replay your moments of 2020, and set some intentions around what you want your 2021 to look like. It is also my hope that, you know, there was something that stuck out to you, whether it was in a joke, whether it was in a serious saying, or whether it was a shared experience, and you were able to help others that are also going through the same things. Be blessed. I am wishing you all a very, very productive and peaceful 2021. I love you all, and I will see you guys on the other side.